Hi there, I'm Peggy McColl, and I want to welcome you. We are doing a special session on fourth quarter mindset and how you can create a push to make 2022 your best year ever. As we approach the final quarter, and we're simply days away from the final quarter starting, this is an opportunity. I mean, every day you wake up, there's an opportunity for you to create what it is that you would love to manifest in your life. Now, typically, the way that it's been done in the past is that people will make a decision at the beginning of the calendar year, New Year's, as an example, of something that they're going to accomplish that they've never accomplished before. But the truth is, you have new beginnings every single day. In every moment is a new beginning. And you have an opportunity to really go for what you want. So today I want to talk to you about how to have that fourth quarter mindset, the mindset of success, where you're stretching yourself beyond anything that you've ever experienced before, where you're manifesting beyond anything that you've ever manifested before. That is the focus of today. And I'm going to start by sharing with you a couple stories. Now, one is a made up story, but still illustrates the point. And the other story is a real life experience. And then I want to talk to you about how you can get started today to make the rest of the year the best quarter that you've ever created in your life. So the first story I want to share with you is a story about Rocky. And Sylvester Stallone wrote a script many years ago, and he wrote the original Rocky screenplay. And his intention was to star in this movie. Now, he was told no. Now, he was at a point in his life and in his career where he was completely unknown, but he made a decision to do something he's never done before. And what I want you to understand is that when you make a decision to do something you've never done before, what occurs is a very unnatural experience. It's unnatural because you've never been there before. You've never created those kinds of results before. You may have the desire to do it, but you haven't done it. And so you must persist. It's important, number one, that you make a decision for what it is that you want to create and then persist and not let go of the outcome that you desire. Well, that's what Sylvester Stallone did and ultimately ended up starring in his own movie. He wasn't paid a lot of money, but he starred in his own movie and it became a success. And the whole Rocky series went on to create multiple movies. There were numerous Rocky movies, but the one particular example that I'm reminded of as we think about today's message of the fourth quarter mindset and really creating this phenomenal experience that you've never experienced before, having the results in the final quarter of the year be something that you've never done before. There was one of the Rocky movies, and I think it might have been around Rocky 8. Like, I don't know how many there were in total, and I probably could have looked it up before we started today, but it's not important. What's important is the story from this particular movie. And what happened was this retired boxer came out of retirement to compete again, to have another fight. And that was Rocky, and that was the role that he was playing. And Sylvester Stallone, at the time of filming that particular movie, was in his 60s. He was in his 60s. So obviously not an ideal time for any athlete to be competing, especially when you're dealing with younger athletes who are probably in great shape, etc. But nonetheless, he had made a decision, and this is what the movie is based on, to go for it, to compete. And there was a buildup to the actual event. And there's a scene after the competition where Rocky is in the street and he's having a conversation with Paulie. And Paulie was his trainer. And Paulie asked Rocky, like, where did that come from? Because what occurred was that when Rocky stepped into onto the platform to perform, when he stepped into the ring, I believe it's called, he ended up, exemplifying some extraordinary talent, and he absolutely was remarkable. And so Paulie was impressed with what he saw, in this event. And so he said to Rocky, where did that come from? And Rocky's answer was as follows. He said it was in the basement. In other words, the ability to do it was already within him, and he simply had to go in, dig it out, and bring it out to the worlds for the rest of the world to see. This is how you create extraordinary results. The ability for you to create extraordinary results is already within you. It's already there. You simply have to bring it out. Now, how do you bring it out? And how do you get to the point where you're producing results unlike anything you've ever produced before? Well, you get there by making a firm decision. It's really important that you make a firm decision that this, which is your outcome, whatever it is that you would love to create in the next 3 months, in the final quarter of the year, is already done. Now, I'm going to ask all of you to choose something. Choose something, choose a goal, choose something that you would absolutely love to accomplish. And understand this, and this is really important part of the process of manifesting. You do not have to know how you're going to manifest it. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. You don't, and it doesn't matter what your present results are. It doesn't matter what you have or have not accomplished in your life up to this point. You simply decide, right? You simply decide. You make a decision that this outcome, whatever that is for you, the mindset that is going to be required will come in a moment. I'll talk about that in a moment. But this outcome is already done. All right. So you choose something. Now, I've chosen something I've written on a little index card that I have right here on my desk that I'm looking at all times. Now, I suggest you stretch yourself. And why? Well, not only will you benefit from accomplishing something you've never accomplished before, but you'll become a greater version of who you already are because you're going into your basement, if you will. You're pulling out the ability that's already within you to manifest whatever it is that you desire. So as we approach the final quarter of the year, I want you to make a decision now. This is going to be your best quarter ever, and that you're going to produce some amazing results that you've never produced before. All right, you make that decision. You're very welcome. Now, we're going to take some questions in a moment as well, but as I mentioned, I have another story that I want to share with you. This is a true story that definitely exemplifies the point of going for it, especially when you're reaching that final, that final period of time. We're reaching the last quarter of the year. And then I'm going to open up for any questions. So for any of you that are on here with me right now, if you have a question that you would love for me to address, we're on here for about 30 minutes. Sometimes we go over. I'm very happy to address any of your questions. All right. So the second story I want to share with you today is a true story. And we're talking today about fourth quarter mindset. Now, really what we're talking about is the mindset for success, the mindset that's necessary to do something you've never done before, to stretch yourself and really go for it, okay? And so the story is a story of an athlete, and it happens to be a Canadian athlete. I'm Canadian as well. And it's an athlete from Western Canada. And the gentleman's name is Mark Tewksbury. And Mark Tewksbury competed many years ago, decades ago, in fact, over 30 years ago, when he was young. He was very young at the time. And Mark Tewksbury had made a decision that he would win a medal in the Olympics. And not just any medal, because what do we have? We have bronze, silver, gold. He made a decision he was winning a gold medal in the Olympics. In other words, he chose to be the best at his particular sport, which was swimming. Mark Tewksbury was on the relay team, the men's relay team, but he also competed in the 100-meter backstroke. And so when the 1988 Olympics came about, which were held in Seoul, Korea, he earned his right to compete in the Olympics. And he went to the Olympics with the intention of winning a gold medal. And he didn't win a gold medal. He won a silver medal. And he won the silver medal in the relay, the men's relay team. So it was the Canadian men's relay team, and they won the silver medal. Now, obviously, that is an extraordinary accomplishment. And when Mark returned to Canada after winning the silver medal, many people were congratulating him and, of course, his fellow relay team members for the accomplishment. Now, Mark was grateful for the accomplishment, and it was quite the accomplishment to win silver, which was second best in the world. But his intention, his goal was to win gold. So he declared, I'm going back in 4 years when the Summer Olympics are being held again, which would be held in Barcelona, Spain. He was going back. And a lot of people tried to dissuade him because he was going to be 4 years older. And of course, there's like an ideal time and an ideal age to compete. And you're usually competing with people around the same age. So if he's going to go back in 4 years, he's going to be 4 years older. And he could potentially be competing against athletes that could be in better shape, could be younger, could be stronger, could be faster, or whatever reason. But nonetheless, he had not accomplished the goal that he had set out. So he wasn't giving up. He was not quitting. He was going to persist until he succeeded. So he trained, and he trained hard, and he trained every day. Now, this is the part where you're sacrificing something for a greater good. So what was Mark sacrificing? He was sacrificing going out and partying, because when you're a late teens, or even as you get into your early 20s, your friends are very likely out partying. And so, sure, he was invited to go out partying too, but he declined. Why? Because he knew that at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was going to be back in the pool and strengthening himself and working on himself and committed to his sport, committed to becoming better and more powerful and stronger so that he would be a great contender for winning the Olympics in 1992 in Barcelona, Spain. So he did that. He trained for many, many years. And there are so many rewards that are at the end of your commitment. There are so many rewards when you make a decision that you're going to commit to your success. I know from personal experience that I'm experiencing the rewards of my commitment and the disciplines for success. But it all starts with a decision. So Mark heads off to the 1992 Barcelona Olympics with a decision that he is a gold medal swimmer in the 100-meter backstroke. Now, Mark wasn't favored to win the gold. I believe there was another swimmer from another country that was favored to win the gold. Now, how do they know? How do they decide, who's really favored to win the medals in the Olympics? Well, based on other competitions, right, that they're involved in. And so many of the other athletes had been involved in a number of competitions, and he wasn't deemed as the favorite to win. But nonetheless, he was not going to allow that to impact him. Now, think about that comment for a moment. Not allowing outside, conditions or outside influences to impact you in any way. This is an important part of achievement. This is an important part of creating results that you've never created before. You could tell someone, hey, this is the goal I've set for the final quarter of the year for 2022, or here's what I'm going to do in 2022. And people that aren't into the same materials as you may be into, or people that aren't into personal development, or people that don't follow these ideas or don't have the same mindset will probably tell you that either you're crazy or that it's not going to happen. You don't have to accept those ideas. You're the one that's in control of what you think. And that's what it was for Mark Tewksbury. He wasn't going to accept the ideas of other people who were negative thinkers, who did not support the outcome that he saw for himself. He wasn't going to get involved or swirl in any of that negative energy that was simply destructive. And so what he did was he headed over to Barcelona, Spain, with the clear intention that he is winning the gold medal. And the day before the competition for the 100-meter backstroke, he managed to find his way to where the pool was and got, I believe it was a janitor, to let him in to where the pool, where the competition was actually going to happen. Now, on that day, there wasn't water in the pool at that time. And he was in this room, in this competition room, alone. And what he decided to do was visualize, right? Visualize. So what he did was he walked up to one of the lanes, and he didn't know which lane would be his, where he thought would be the lane. Now, he's competing in the 100-meter backstroke. So that means that your back is facing the pool. So he stood there with his back facing the pool, and he imagined that the gun went off and he dove into the pool and he saw himself swimming. It was 100 meters, so the pool's 50 meters. You touch the wall, you turn around, you come back, and there are sensors that are in the wall of the pool so that the swimmers touch the wall when they're finished, when they get to the end, and then the sensors will determine who touched first. Because as you very likely know, sometimes the difference between the first place winner and the second place winner is sometimes a fraction of a second. I mean, it can be that close, and we've seen it before in many competitions. And so Mark went to the pool the day before the competition to visualize, to imagine that he was swimming and competing in this 100-meter backstroke. And also when he got to, in his mind, in his imagination, when he got to the end and touched the wall, imagine looking up and seeing the scoreboard that said gold and then his name, and then silver, whoever the silver winner was, and bronze, whoever the bronze winner was. And then he imagined looking into the stands where all of the fans were, or all of the people that were, observing. And he imagined seeing Canadian flags and hearing the cheering, etc. So he created that image, which was an impression that he created into his mind. So the next day was the competition. And Mark showed up to the ready room, which is the room that they put the competitors in before they marched them out to where the pool was. So Mark goes into the ready room, and he's in the ready room. And as soon as he walks in, and he can see, a number of the swimmers are already there, and they're already getting themselves psyched out. Right. So they've got towels over their head. They're speaking in their own language, and they're maybe doing affirmations, or they're in the zone and they're focused or whatever. And for a moment, he allowed himself to feel a little freaked out, going, oh my goodness, I just got here and they're already in the zone. And he just thought, no, that's not going to support me. I have to get in the zone as well. So he put himself in the zone. And then they marched all of the swimmers out to the pool and lined them up at their lanes. And as he was standing there, getting ready, the gun went off, and in the pool he went. And so as he's swimming, he happened to notice out of the corner of his eye as he's swimming, because they're going pretty fast, right? And there, as he's going along, he noticed that he saw like a leg of someone beside him. Well, if you're swimming and you're seeing a leg beside you, well, that's obvious that the competitor that's beside you is ahead of you, right? So what he did was he started to say this to himself. He started to say the words, go now, go now. And with every go now that he was saying to himself, he pushed harder and pushed harder and pushed harder. And then within a very short period of time, that ankle became an elbow. And so he could tell he was gaining speed. He was picking up his momentum. And then when he got to the end of the wall, turned around, came back, and he was just saying to himself the entire time, go now, go now. And when he got to the end, he touched the wall, and he, came out of the water, looked at the scoreboard, and he saw gold, Mark Tewksbury. And so he pushed himself. So the point of the story is that anyone that's looking to create extraordinary results, understand that you'll need to go inside within you and pull out what's already there. The ability for you to manifest what you desire is already there. The ability for Sylvester Stallone to have that competition, or to even have his screenplay to become a movie, was already there. The ability for Mark Tewksbury was there for him to win the gold. Now, he hung on to that dream. He didn't allow outside influences to impact him in any negative way whatsoever. He made a decision that he was going for it, regardless of, competing in the Olympics, winning a silver medal, not getting to where he wanted to go, going back home and realizing he had to wait another 4 years. Do you know most people wouldn't bother? Most people wouldn't even invest the time or the energy. A lot of people give up. And sometimes they give up when they're really close to their dream. But if you make a decision and you develop the right mindset, now what's the right mindset to really pursue and experience something you've never experienced before? Well, it's the mindset of a winner, right? It's the mindset of someone who recognizes that the potentiality is there, but also understands that in order to manifest, you have to feel as if the result is already done. You've already accomplished the goal that you've set out for yourself, and you act and behave in accordance with that outcome, knowing that it's already there. Now, there's a process that goes on. There's an experience that when you make the decision to go for something you've never done before, there's an experience of discomfort. But understand that when you stay connected to it, it's like I have a dog bone in my drawer over here. Actually, I moved my drawer around. Here's my dog bone here. This is a rawhide dog bone that, big dogs would use to chew on. And I bought this. I went to the pet store a number of years ago and I wrote on it that I'm a New York Times bestselling author. Because even though, I may not have been formally educated or whatever, I wrote a book and I had an intention. I didn't write my books to have them sit in a warehouse or sit in a basement or a garage. I wrote the books to impact people in a positive way. Now, I've written 20 now, but when I started with my first book, I made a decision that I am a New York Times bestselling author. I felt that was a great success. Now, there were lots of times that I could have let go of that dream and let it go, or other people trying to tell me why it's not going to happen or why, might not have been, able to create that. I didn't listen to that. I did not allow other people's influences or other people's opinion to affect me in any negative way. And that cannot happen. When you're really pursuing your goal and you're going for it, you may not have the support of everybody that you want. It's not because they don't care about you or they don't love you. It might simply be because they think they're doing you a favor, right? Saving you from disappointment. But the rewards are along the extra mile. So as we're about to start the final quarter of this year, the rewards are there. It's, will you choose them? Will you make a decision today that you're going for it? Now, I suggest that you do. Absolutely suggest that you do. Go for it. Like, make a decision. You're going to pursue something you've never pursued before. I noticed one of the things that Roddy did was he put a link up here for Masters Manifesting. This is an event that I'm running with my good friend, Phil Goldfine, who's an Academy Award winning and a Tony Award winning and a gold medal winner producer. He's a producer, but he's also a millionaire, a multimillionaire. And he's a wonderful human being who understands and demonstrates by his results manifesting techniques. And so Phil and I came together a number of years ago to co-deliver a program called Masters Manifesting. And for many years and on multiple occasions, we ran this event together online. And we've decided to run a live event over 2 days right here in beautiful Ottawa, Ontario. Now, Canada's uplifted their restrictions on travel, so no longer are you restricted if you're not vaccinated, and you don't have to prove you're vaccinated to enter into our country. There's no tests that are done. You can come in the country. So perfect timing for us. But we'd love to see you. Join us at Masters Manifesting, 2 days in the room with Phil Goldfine and myself, where we're going to share with you the best manifestation techniques that you, I believe, could ever learn. All right. So I know also Roddy has been gathering questions, and I am thrilled to answer questions. We've got about 7 minutes remaining. And so I'm going to get those questions right now and address them. So the question comes from Bayjazz. It says, I feel like I've lost motivation. How do you get it back? All right. Great question. Now, the question was asked with a sad face. Now, the first thing I'm going to suggest is don't have a sad face about it. Be grateful that you're noticing it. All right. Anytime you're feeling sad, that is not a positive mindset, right? We're here also to talk about mindset. So be grateful that you've noticed that you've lacked your motivation. Now, here's what I believe is one of the reasons why there's no motivation. It's because the goal, you don't have a goal, or the goal isn't big enough. Now, you got to get a goal that really excites you, like something that you would absolutely love. But here's the key. When you're thinking of the goal, when you're thinking of creating a goal that you would absolutely love to manifest in your life, I want you to think from a place of unlimited possibilities. And all you need to do is answer this question. What would I love? Or what would I really love? What would I really love? What would I really love to have, to do, to be, to experience in my life. And I want you to get a hold of that goal because you can manifest it. There's no mistake that you're here. There's no mistake that you've asked this question. So follow through. It's not enough to just come on and watch videos or read the books or attend the programs. You've got to follow through. So I would suggest follow through. Follow through and secure a goal that you have no earthly idea how you're going to manifest, but you would love to manifest it. All right. Set that goal and set that goal right now. All right. Now you may have a goal. Now, some of you might be listening and thinking, well, I already have a goal, but you're not motivated. It could be the wrong goal. It could be the wrong goal. Or it could be that you have the goal, but you don't believe you're going to accomplish it. Well, in the beginning, you probably don't believe you're going to accomplish it, but you can. You absolutely can accomplish it. So you can build the belief. You can absolutely build the belief that it's already done. All right. How do you build the belief that it's already done? Well, you ask yourself this question. Now that I've accomplished my goal, now that it's manifested in my life, how do I feel? Now, this is not a question that you ask yourself once and you're done. This is a question that you ask yourself multiple times a day, throughout the day, especially in the morning and especially at night, and you connect emotionally to the outcome. By doing that, you're strengthening the belief within you. And it'll come to a point where you absolutely believe it. Why? Because you worked on it. It's like working out, right? Physically working out, but only mentally you're working out. You're emotionally working out. You're working on your mindset. This is not something that you do once in a while. This is something you dedicate your life to. Now, why would you dedicate your life to? Because this is it, man. This is all we got. We got this life right here, right now. Make the best of it. Choose now that you're going to make the last quarter of this year your best quarter. Now, if you don't know what to do, we can help you. So you can go to my website, PeggyMcColl.com. We have a number of programs that can help you. Now, I started studying in January 1979, and I've never stopped, and I never will. Why? Because life can continue to get better and better and better. Plus, you want to continue to feed your mind, right? You wouldn't think of skipping a day without feeding your body water, fluids, and or food. So do not even think about skipping a day as far as feeding your mind with great, valuable information that's going to contribute to your success. All right, we have a couple more questions that have come in. This one's from Monza. It says, do you have outline courses that I can study? Definitely. Absolutely. Go to PeggyMcColl.com and you'll find all of our programs are listed there. Okay, go to PeggyMcColl.com. Now, if you're not certain which program is the right one for you, you can book an appointment with Vladdy. Vladdy is on our team and she's very happy. There's no cost to you. She's an advisor and she's very happy to meet with you to help you determine which is the best fit for you. Okay, Chris says, having a hard time, not life to get in the way of me achieving my goal, trying my best to stay focused. Okay, great. I would suggest don't have a hard time. Have it be easy. You are in your own way. We're all in our own way to some degree at some point, but having the awareness to recognizing it's good. It's good that you recognize that you're in your own way, but you can accomplish the goal. You have to follow through. It's really important to follow through. I would suggest, Chris, get into one of our programs. Like one of the best programs where we're consistently with our clients on a regular basis is in our study group, is in Club Achieve. So you can go to clubachieve.com. As I said, you'll find all of our programs on our website, and that'll help you stay focused because it's not only about study, it's about having the understanding and the application to follow through. Okay, we have two more questions, then we're going to call it a wrap for today. This one is from Happy Dancer. How long does the uncomfortable feelings last? I'm manifesting at high speed, but it feels so uncomfortable. Okay, great stuff. How long does it last? Well, it depends. It depends on you. It depends on how committed you are. It depends on the activities that you're involved with every day that create the feeling states and the mindset of having the things that you desire. It's different for everyone. But Happy Dancer, it sounds to me like you're committed to the success, and that's great. I love that. So just turn up the intensity of what you're doing every day to create the feeling states of accomplishing what it is that you're looking to accomplish. All right, the Happy Dancer is also asking, every new stretch feels scary all over again. Will that go over, or will that go away? I think is the question. What happens is this. Like when you become, and this is part of the reason why Phil Goldfine and I are doing Masters Manifesting, the 2-day event, live event, is that, both Phil and I are masters at manifesting. And that's why we teach what we teach, is because we become very good at it, really good at it. I'm not bragging. It's not an ego thing. It's just a reality, that we have both dedicated our lives to manifesting the goals that we've set for ourselves. So does that scary feeling ever go away? I'll tell you this is what happens. When you become aware, when you get into the habit of manifesting goal after goal after goal, does the scary feeling ever go away? I would say yes and no. So it may pop up for a brief moment, but then when you're really good, like when you become an expert, a master at manifesting, you begin to recognize what that feeling is. And you choose to switch it off right away, because feeling fear is destructive. Now, fear is simply the opposite of faith. And you can turn fear into faith. They're on the same switch, okay? Think about a dimmer switch that moves up and down on a wall to illuminate the light and then bring the light down. So if you think about light being down and the light being off, that's fear, right? Everything's dark, it's scary, you can't see clearly. But when you have faith, you begin to see things very differently. It's a new mindset. And also, everything's illuminated, right? You feel better, it feels brighter. And so you have an opportunity to switch from fear to faith. And I believe this comes from understanding. You get the understanding from the study. You get the study from being disciplined to study. And that's how it goes. All right. Eva says, or it's Eva or Eva, and I apologize if I'm not saying your name the way it is meant to say. How to get clear on what to write a book about, especially if you have lots of different topics you want to discuss. Yeah, that's a great question, Eva. I would suggest check out msiauthor.com, msiauthor.com, because as I mentioned, I'm an author of 20 books, but what I love helping people do is determine, what to create from and based on your passion, right? So I would say you play with a number of ideas. Now, I've written 20 books. I'm thinking of book number 21 right now. Matter of fact, made a note to get started on book number 21. And I've got a lot of different ideas. So how you decide is based on how you're feeling. Like when you're feeling really committed to a topic or a subject, you're going to feel the passion. You'll feel it rise up inside of you. Now, I would suggest don't approach writing it until you really feel, yes, this is it. So it's your feeling. It's how you're feeling about the particular topics that you're thinking about writing. But we created something new with this MSI Author, MSI Entrepreneur program, where we're really helping authors not only create the success as an author and get the book out there in the world, because that's part of it. But I learned very, very early in the game that if you really want to create phenomenal success, you've got to learn, how to, think like an entrepreneur, how to act like an entrepreneur, how to create success as an entrepreneur. I've also learned that many authors leave a lot of money on the table where there's so much more that you can create and serve people in the world, which will result in you being rewarded financially, right? You can actually create an empire. So I personally have generated millions of dollars that have been extensions from the book, and I've helped other people do the same. And so, I can help you to do that. So it's really taking it to another level is what MSI Author is. But that's how you decide. You make a decision based on how you're feeling and what you're personally passionate about. And once you make the decision, and this is the same thing with goals, we were talking about goals earlier. Once you make that decision that you're going to, do something that you've never done before, or create something you've never created before, understand that this is the growth time. This is where you get to step into this greater version of who you are, because the ability is there. Every one of you has the ability to create so much more than you've created in your life. Every one of you has the potential to be living a bigger life, a more expansive life. And whatever that is for you, everybody gets to decide what that is. And it's not about the money. What I do in my business and what I teach with other people, absolutely, I help people create multiple sources of income or earn the kind of money that they've only ever dreamed of. Absolutely, that's part of it. But that's not the reason behind it. It's about fulfillment. It's about feeling a great sense of peace. It's about authenticity, integrity, and putting your head on the pillow at night where you feel great. You feel proud. You feel like you're doing something that is difference making in the world, positive difference making in the world, that the work that you're doing or what you're doing is making a positive and a beneficial contribution to the lives of others. Okay, well, we've gone a little bit over time today, but always happy to do it. Always happy to be here with you. So today we're talking about fourth quarter mindset and making a decision that 2022, we've got one quarter left. You know, we're literally days away from the fourth quarter, the final quarter. This is your opportunity to create the best results that you've ever created ever in a year. So make a decision now that you're going to go for it, and we can help you get there. We can absolutely help you get there. You can definitely book an appointment with Vladdy, and she'll give you some guidance on which would be the best fit for you, the best program to help you get to where you want to go. But we are here to serve you. So my pleasure to be here with you today. Always an honor. And I look forward to being back with you again in the very near future. Have yourself a wonderful day. And thank you, Roddy. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here with me. All right, everyone. Bye-bye for now.